right, hello everyone. We are live again with episode 2 of our Talk It Up podcast. Today we're gonna focus on little, like work focus, workplace experience, work stories, bosses, stuff like that. If you guys have anything you want to say, feel free to put it in chat. And with that, we can get started.
I'm ready.
All right.
This is so exciting.
All right, so, okay, I guess we can start. How was your day at work today?
My day at work today was a whole lot.
So was mine.
I don't know. I feel like this kind of stuff has something to do with the moon. But
you
anyway.
always say that, but I don't think
do.
every day is a full moon. Sometimes it's just chaos.
True.
The world is just chaotic.
True. But just a lot of odd situations. I work with a call center, and so a lot of awkward phone calls. And just a whole lot more than the usual today.
Nothing specific, no stories or anything?
Today, let me think.
You're a little off the camera. Gotta scoot in a little bit.
The issue with today was that I had way more meetings than I usually have. I had a few extra meetings on my calendar. Most people who've been working in leadership for a while really hate meetings because it's a lot of time wasted in stuff that I think could have been sent to me via email. And just tell me what you want. Okay, we can make it happen. I really don't need a meeting an hour long and listening to jokes and things like that when I have stuff that needs to be done. So I just had way more meetings today than I would like. Other than that, it was all good.
Okay, well, mine, it was the first day that we weren't required to wear masks, so it was weird seeing everybody's face because I've been working with them for a year, but I really didn't know what they looked like.
Wow.
So it was like uncovering their identities.
The masked, okay, gotcha.
So just seeing everyone's face. I was a little bit worried because when I got hired, they said septum piercings weren't allowed, but we had masks on, so I was like, who the heck cares? So now that they're off, they didn't say anything to me today, so I'm just going to keep going and hope they don't say anything. If not, I'm fine taking it out. I've got those plastic ones that I can just flip. So.
Okay.
But until then, I'm just probably going to keep this one in. I tried to take this one out today, and it's like they always fall out when I don't want them to. I've had to buy 2 new sets of these because the balls always fall out because of how much of blowing my nose I do. I have a sinus thing where I blow my nose a lot. And it just, but I was trying to
viewer.
Get it.
We see you out there. Thanks for joining us. Okay.
I was trying to take the ball out, and they always fall out when I'm blowing my nose. But this time I was trying to take it out, and it's too tight. I can't take it off. So I'm just going to wait for it to fall out when I blow my nose. I feel like it's going to happen eventually. So
I was dead set against that septum thing when she first even broached the idea a year or two ago.
2, I think.
2 years ago. I didn't particularly care for it after you first got it. Now I can be honest, but it has grown on me, and I think it's cute. But in them early days, I thought it was a bit of a struggle, but it's cool.
What about Kai's nose piercing?
That didn't bother me as much because she looks like your dad, and your dad has a nose piercing. And back when we dated, he used to keep an earring in it.
Yeah.
So it didn't bother me because I was used to seeing that.
So you just never known anyone with a septum?
I had never known anyone with the septum. It was a new concept, and I kind of thought it was radical. I thought it was a radical thing. I'm like, Next thing you know, she's going to have piercings everywhere, but it didn't go that way, so I'm okay.
I do want an industrial one, which is like the bar that goes through there.
And I'm so glad you're 18. You can do it without my signature now. Mm-hmm.
Doesn't your mom have like 9 piercings on one ear?
She's got a ton of piercings in one ear. In her day, that was her version of radical. The radical gene skipped over me. I got 2 holes in each ear, and that's it. No tattoos, no anything. But I'm, I guess, conservative.
Well, not me or Kai. Me and Kai both have tattoos and piercings.
Yes. Kai has many tattoos.
She also has many piercings.
And many piercings. Oh.
She got her belly pierced, and I think she got her nipples pierced. If I'm not mistaken.
Well, I guess I wouldn't know that. Okay. That's all right.
Well, yeah. And I've just got these 2. They're bad to show like this. They're more like looking at that way. But like this, they do curve. I don't necessarily like that, but it doesn't bother me. I don't think about it.
Okay.
They ain't coming off, so I might as well deal with it.
Okay.
But yeah, they look fine like that though. I think I gotta get this one redone because it's starting to fade at the top.
Oh.
But that's a common problem up here.
Okay.
All right, back to work stuff. Oh yeah, it was the first day of my job without masks, so I saw everybody's face. But then also,
did anybody scare you? No, I'm kidding.
No. I mean, everybody. From the face up, it was really just mouths, but it was interesting to see like facial hair and stuff.
Oh,
there was some surprising facial hairs.
From any ladies? No.
But also, like I told you, we had like a hiring day where we had like we've been understaffed. So they had like 2 days where people could just walk in and get like on the spot interviews.
Yeah.
So they hired like 3 new people, and so the 3 new people were working. There was like 3 or 4 new people, but they were all working today, and they had 3 new guys on the line, and then 1 like guy who's been there for a while. And we've got 2 like sandwich making lines. And so the manager was at one line just by himself making like delay stuff that's not going to be picked up till like 12, 2, stuff like that. Mm-hmm. The other one is making like stuff that needs to go out now, which is the one with the 4 people and 3 new people and the 1 new guy. So they, on the manager, his line, he was doing everything like twice as fast as the line with 4 people on it. So I was waiting on a delivery, and I'm just standing there waiting for a while, and then finally the manager like turns around to the front line, and he's like, "Why are y'all taking so long?" He's like, "It's like 1 delivery and 2 people in store. Y'all shouldn't be taking this long." And the guy like got a whole attitude. He was like, "I have to answer his dumbass questions. It was like pointing to all the new people. He was like, "And I'm sick of it," and just like walked around and like went to the back line. So the manager stepped in on that line, and like he was throwing stuff, being mad, like, "It's not that hard," blah blah blah. So they were having their whole man fit, and I was just standing there like, and the new people were standing there like feeling embarrassed because he didn't point and saying they got dumbass questions. So it was a little tense after that in the air. I felt bad for the new people because, to be fair, the new people do suck. They are not good at what they're doing, but that is the fault of the store, because I know from experience that they do not train. They just throw you into stuff and be like, "Okay, do it," and expect you to know what's going on. Because they didn't train me at all. They didn't train any other drivers, but I was thinking maybe that's just a driver thing. But seeing these new like in-shoppers, I know that they just straight up don't be training people.
Okay.
So of course the in-shops are messing up a lot because they don't know what the heck they're doing because nobody's telling them. Yeah. And then when they ask, they get told they're saying dumbass questions. So I felt bad for them more so than anything. But it was interesting to watch.
They should put the new people, if they're not going to train them, put them on the slow line where being fast ain't the issue.
Exactly.
Let them do the stuff that's gonna, and let somebody fast be on the fast line.
That's what needed to happen. The manager should have been the one on the fast line, and then the new people
they
and the
can
other
practice
guy on the back,
until they get the hang of things and take their time on the slow line.
Yeah, that's what needed to happen. But
that's too much pressure for some new people that haven't been trained.
Yeah. But that's how that went down. So that was my day at work.
Yeah, sounds exciting. Way more interesting than mine. Yeah.
All right. Now, what was your best job?
The best job I ever had was working in the telemetry. So I've been in healthcare for the last 25 years. Okay, so I started at the bottom, now I'm here. Okay. But back when I used to work in telemetry at a hospital here in the Indianapolis area, that was my favorite job. I kept it for 5 years because I enjoyed it. I was good at it. It was interesting. It was enough downtime so I could study while I was going to school.
What was the job? Because I don't know what that means.
Oh, in telemetry. Okay, so what I did was, but when you're in the hospital, sometimes they'll put these stickers on your chest, and then they'll connect the wires to that, and then they'll plug it up to a machine, like a little box.
The clear
or
thing?
A machine, yeah, and so that's printing off like your heart waves, and so in telemetry we would read the heart waves, and we could tell if people were having a heart block, or if they're having an unusual heart rhythm, the heart rate beating too fast. We'd call up there, what is the person doing? If they're laying down and their heart rate is like 175, that's a problem. We're telling the nurse, you need to go to that patient's room. Their heart is going way too fast. We could see it when they were having heart attacks. And because it was a heart hospital, every patient had one of these devices on. And so I would sit in a room with, watching a screen with maybe 30 patients on there, looking at all of them, making sure each patient's heart rate and rhythm was stable. And if at any point where it was unstable, I would have to call the nurse. All nurses carry cell phones, and I'd have to call the nurse and tell them they need to go check on patient so-and-so. That was my favorite job.
Okay. My favorite job, I've only had two, disclaimer, unless DoorDash counts as a job.
Okay.
But I kind of like Jimmy John's better than Subway. I'd have to, even though the people at Subway were nicer, I do like Jimmy John's because I get paid more, and because it's just a younger crowd. The old people at Subway was a little, it was calmer, but I do like the excitement of working with a bunch of 20-year-olds. Because it's mainly 20-year-olds and teens there. Even management is all, younger people. Yeah. And it's more interesting. Like your sister being the assistant manager at that time. Yeah. Okay. So it's certainly a lot more interesting and, just exciting in general. Yeah. And I get paid more. I really can't complain about that. And it's not as hard of work. Because at Subway, I'd be standing all day. I'm cleaning. I'm taking calls and blah, 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 blah. As a driver, if there's no deliveries, we just stand there.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to say the fact that you get to leave the premises from time to time.
That's true, too, yeah. Because I get to just be in my car and listen to music. That's nice on a busy day. That is nice. I really can't complain about too much about Jimmy John's. It does get chaotic, and being on the road with people is annoying a lot because a lot of people don't know how to drive. But besides that, it's not too bad.
Okay. What happened the other day when you got a flat tire?
I didn't even tell the guy. He was like, "What happened?" I was like, "I don't know." I just didn't want to say it. So I went up. I had a delivery to this really fancy house, and I was tempted and I made the wrong move. So it was a super fancy house, and they had this like stone wall paved like driveway, and then they just had a normal driveway. So I'm like, so there's your normal one, and then there's stone brick, and the stone brick one was like perfect for a delivery drop off because you could go right up to the door because it made like a whole like curve around the like house, like it's meant to go in and then out. So I'm like, this is just calling my name. So I went on it. It might have been made for a smaller car than what my car is, because when I went in and started turning, it was a little tight, but I went ahead and made the delivery, dropped it off, and then I start going down it, and then I immediately hear the like popping. So I think the side of my wheel hit the stone like wall, and one of the stones poked out and popped it. But I mean, I needed a new tire anyway, I guess, because every time that I've gone, like when I went to Pep Boys, they said I needed new tires. When I went to Mears, they said I needed new tires. And my tire pressure light came on, so I drove through Discount Tire because they have like a free tire pressure check service where they'll fill up your tires with air for free. And they were like, you need new tires. I needed new tires anyway. I was already on edge that it was going to pop at any moment.
Okay. Well, I don't like that, but I'm a mother, so I'm glad you made it through.
It happens. I mean, I don't know why they would have a driveway like that that's not big enough for a big car. You act like you wouldn't have done something like that. If you saw a normal driveway and a stone wall, curved perfectly driveway, you're telling me you wouldn't have took the big fancy driveway?
Knowing what I know today,
knowing that now, maybe not. But if
yeah,
you didn't know that was gonna happen, you would have probably done that.
Maybe, but I don't like it. I still don't like it. Okay, but yeah, I may have.
All right. I guess while we're on best job, we can just go straight to best boss.
The best boss that I have ever had was, because bosses are just,
yeah, both of my bosses have been bad. Now that I'm thinking about it, I don't think I've liked either of
my
bosses.
Worst. I mean, talk about lack of people skills.
Yeah.
But I have had one good one in my lifetime at least, and that's when I was working at a certain psychiatric facility. Yeah, I had a really good one. She was kind, she was patient. So yeah, I do have to admit that when I did the psychiatric facility nursing, I had a really, really good boss. Mm-hmm. The director of nursing. Yeah.
I've had good managers, but but between my two bosses, I really don't think any of them. Both of them are kind of on the like annoying when they come in the store. It's a whole different vibe because they just one of those bosses where everybody got to be straight and uptight. Mm-hmm.
I feel like you have to be comfortable with yourself to be a good boss. Because bosses that have anger issues or insecurities, they take that stuff out and they project it onto their employees. Mm-hmm. So it's like they should send anybody who's eligible for a promotion to leadership through a round of therapy. Okay? And then maybe they can be cool and treat their employees the way they want to be treated. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. They need at least a few months of therapy before now you have made it through therapy, you can receive your promotion, or your promotion is contingent upon your completing your therapy. Yeah.
That makes sense.
I have a really cool boss right now. Just in case, I won't say where I work more than what I've already said, but my boss right now is cool. So if you're listening, you're cool. No problems. All right, and what else?
Okay, now your worst job. I feel like I know the answer to this, and I've had someone complain about this job recently too, but I don't know that it was necessarily.
Give me a hint.
You're St. Vincent? Because I know you
No,
hated St. Vincent.
It wasn't the worst.
Yeah.
It wasn't
You're
the
not
best.
there no more. You don't have to.
It was somewhere in the middle. It was somewhere in the middle. It wasn't the worst. It wasn't the best. A lot of my frustrations came from being new to nursing at that time, not fully realizing how hard a work nursing is, period. So it took me some time to wrap my head around that. Like I did all this college and stuff to come out and work this doggone hard. I thought I was going to sit up, honey, and collect the ducats, and it did not go down like that. So I had a little culture shock. But it wasn't that bad in retrospect.
I know a girl who's in nursing, and she's with Community North, and she says like all of the people she was in school with, because she graduated school early. She graduated when I was like a sophomore, so she's already done with college, so she's already working. But yeah, she's at Community North, which was the heart hospital, and she said she loves it there, but every single person who was in her class that she knows that went to St. Vincent like hates it. Not to shame on anyone who works at St. Vincent. If you like your job, you like your job.
Yeah, nothing against St. Vincent.
Yeah.
Yep. And so that's on them, but I have to say it wasn't the worst. But I do know that let me see, the worst job I ever had, like I disliked the absolute most. Going through and thinking about, I have to say at a certain nursing home. And just because the staff was really mean, they hired me in the middle of some crap that they had going on amongst the staff that they didn't fill me in on. So when I got there, the staff had an attitude with me out the gate, and it made them really difficult to manage. And I did not like that job. Yeah, I ended up leaving just without a word, no notice, just because it was a big middle finger to them, because I just didn't like them. Yeah, because of how they treated me. Yeah. So. Yeah.
Are we still on worst job or worst boss?
I just answered worst job.
Okay. Yeah, I think.
What was your worst job?
Worst job. Okay.
Oh,
I've only had two. Oh. But I will say this is a curveball. I think my worst job was DoorDash. I did DoorDash for a while.
Okay.
And I didn't like that because, one, they will send you all the way out. They will send you like 30 minutes out on one order. That's like $7. So you really have to pay attention to how many miles it says above, like before you accept. And I would have just so many problems with the app. The maps was never working. It would give me the wrong addresses. I couldn't find people.
Yeah, I had the wrong address one time too.
Yeah, but then every time I would try to call, like with the numbers they would put on the app, it like wouldn't work. It never worked no matter what the number was. I would always get a dial tone. So then I'd have to go through DoorDash help. I had to do that almost every single order. I had to go through DoorDash help. It was just bad.
A mess.
Yeah, I did not like
Kai
DoorDash.
said the app completely quit on her in the middle of an order.
I've had
She's
that
like,
happen
I got
too.
this food.
Yeah,
I don't know what to do with it.
Yeah, the app is not good.
Oh, okay.
For me, at least, I do not like the DoorDash app at all. And it's just not worth it, in my opinion. I like being at a place where the deliveries all come in through a computer system that has nothing to do with me. And if something goes wrong, there's a store that can be called. It's not on my hands. Like, really, pretty much anything that happens is not my fault because I'm not management. I'm just an employee. Yeah. I like that. So, yeah, I did not like DoorDash at all. It just wasn't worth it. And I didn't make nearly as much as I make at Jimmy John's. And being like, having that like make your own schedule thing, it was very easy, like after I went like 10 minutes and not getting deliveries, to just be like, okay, I'm leaving. Whereas when I'm at work, I'm forced to stay there, so I'm like almost forced to make more money. Because even like today, it was really slow and we had 9 drivers and we were all just standing there. One guy decided to go home, and then like 10 minutes later, it started getting busy and we got our money. So I was thinking like, dang, maybe I'll go home too. But I'm like, no, I'm at work. Let me stay. Had I been at DoorDash, I probably would have just been like, okay, I'm done. And then a rush would come like 10 minutes later or something like that. So I think just being forced to stay put, like you're at work, you got to be there, helps me make more money, because a rush will come eventually, because people always are going to want food.
At some point. Yeah. All right. Well, that was good.
Best boss. Worst boss. Worst boss. We're on worst.
I think I already recall saying that my worst boss was.
You said your best. You said your worst job was a certain nursing home facility, but you didn't say unless that was your worst boss too.
Worst boss.
Or maybe you mentioned your worst boss when we were talking about best.
Let me think through my bosses. Yes. Yes. My worst boss. Oh, the worst boss I ever had was at one of the local jails. And everybody who worked at one of these jails and worked with me, they know what I'm talking about. Okay? Yes. She should not have been a boss. Okay? And that's all I got to say about that.
What was she like?
OMG. Passive aggressive. A big liar. Made it very difficult to get your work done and your job done and manage employees when you're constantly being lied to.
That's weird. Why would you lie as a boss? Like,
because she was playing the different sides. I didn't realize what the dynamics was, but it was a very culturally intense work environment. And she wanted all groups to think that she loved them, but which is not bad in and of itself. But she would go and do sneaky things to create more chaos. And she created a great deal of the chaos that occurred on that job. And that's why, because typically your boss is trying to de-escalate the chaos, not creating the chaos. And I was always blindsided by more chaos that she was creating. So, and I'm trying to squash it, and she's escalating it. And so we kind of were not on the same team. And that was a problem. You need to be, when you're in leadership, you need to be in harmony with your leadership, everybody in leadership, in order to effectively manage your staff, because it's like parenting. The children will notice that there's an opportunity to cause, to divide the parents. And then once they notice that, it becomes easy to divide and conquer. So you really have to stick together in order to manage staff. And that was not happening at one of the local county jails.
Okay. Well,
I was a little passionate. A little passionate, because it's still raw. Okay?
Okay, Yeah. My worst boss was, I'd say, Subway, because scheduling was just horrible. It's like he would text me the night before and be like, "Can you, like, you work tomorrow 11 to 3?" So it was really hard to make plans. And then, but I mean, in a sense, I could say no. There were times when I would say no, but he would get mad. I stopped caring after a while, because I'm like, if you're mad, make a schedule. That's not on me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna
just be available
Yeah,
24/7
exactly,
just in
exactly.
case he might call and
exactly.
ask. Yeah.
Yeah. So there were times that I'd be like, no. But and then
He never made a schedule
Never.
that entire time.
And that was like everyone who worked there, that was their number one issue. He would try and be like give us our week. Like, you work Sunday 11 to 2, Tuesday 11. Like, he would try to do that, but it didn't always work. And then it would never be consistent. So I really couldn't tell somebody.
Your life.
Yeah. Like, if somebody wants to hang out next Tuesday, I can't be like, oh, well, let me see if I have work, because I had no clue. And then if it did turn out I had work, I'd have to tell him, hey, I can't do next Tuesday. And then he'd get mad. And then I'm just like... So scheduling was a very big issue.
Okay.
And just understaffment. He just refused to hire people.
Enough people.
And I'd be like, well, can't he put a hiring sign? And the manager was like, he doesn't want to put a hiring sign. We told him to put one, and he doesn't want to do that.
He didn't want to give up that profit.
Yeah.
That's what that was about.
He was very cheap. That was another thing. He was extremely cheap.
Yeah, most businesses try to make it with the least amount of staff that they can get by with.
What he did.
Yeah.
And the staff that he did hire was not good, because he would hire a lot of foreigners, and he would come from a good place.
Nothing against foreigners.
Yeah, nothing against foreigners. He would come from a good place, like, trying to help them out. They would usually, there was like one lady there who had a son, and she was just, having a job to get her son into preschool, blah, blah, blah. Coming from a great place, but they didn't know English. And it's
we
like,
love foreigners.
We do.
And that's okay.
That's okay. You don't have to know English, but it makes working at a job where you have to interact with customers that speak English, it makes it very difficult to work with you, because when a customer goes, "Can I get a turkey sandwich?" and you just kind of stare at them, it would be really annoying. So they would have to, not only did they have to teach them how to make the sub, they would have to teach them, like, this is turkey, this is ham. Like, they had to teach them the words, and that got annoying.
We all come from, hey.
That's, it's not to say that.
It's a little bit funny, but we do, drop me in any other country, I would be in the same boat.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I get it.
It's understandable, but it does make working just a little bit more stressful than it would be if everybody knew the same language. Or even, they don't even have to be fluent, because my manager was not fluent, but he would sit and he would practice, like, he had a little notebook just full of English words and phrases that he would just go through and practice, and he could hold conversations. And he'd watch, like, American TV. He loved America's Got Talent. He would watch that a lot.
Oh, ain't that sweet?
And
that's just the sweetest.
And he would practice his English. So they don't have to. I'm not saying everybody's got to be fluent in English. I'm just saying, if you're getting a job where you are having person-to-person contact, it's a good idea to know the language, at least a little bit.
Makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Okay, this one was more so for you, because I have not had any management or boss positions. But if you have any, like, stories, maybe, like, an employee that, any just stories of being in a management position, maybe how it's like, the stresses of management versus stresses of a new hire position.
I'll tell you one thing. Yes, I'll tell you one thing. Bosses are so bad that people get used to just the habit of not liking their boss, right? So that's the number one thing that makes being a boss more difficult, because people have to overcome, like they'll initially expect to not like you. And then you have to be patient with them until they realize that you're not that bad, you know? So, at my favorite job, which was, oh, my favorite nursing job, because I said my favorite job was telemetry. But my favorite job once I became a nurse was actually being just a regular staff nurse at one of the local psychiatric facilities. I just like working with mentally ill people. I get them, I understand them, I feel like I can relate to them. And so that was my favorite job as a nurse. And so
Oh,
I enjoyed that.
hey. That's Cheyenne. That's my
Hey,
friend. Hello,
Cheyenne. How you doing, girl? What, what? Thanks for supporting. That's what I'm talking about. So as a regular staff nurse, I loved it. But I loved it so much that they ended up promoting me. And I gotta say, once I got promoted to a supervisor, I felt totally different, because nobody trusts their boss, nobody really likes their boss, and it takes time for people to, because people not used to having good bosses.
Yeah.
This is like, it's a rare thing. I'm not used to having good bosses.
Yeah, I've never
you
had a
know,
good boss.
and so it's a rare thing. And so when you find one, you're not too sure, and so you're like, you still have a chip. Employees working under me that kind of had a chip on their shoulder, and I had to be patient with them while that chip slowly dissolved. Right? But once it dissolved, I loved it, because people realize that I'm just gonna treat you the way I want to be treated. I'm gonna respect you. I'm not gonna yell at you. These bosses out here yelling at other people, that is unacceptable. That is unacceptable.
Yeah.
Remember how you feel being at the bottom right now. If you want your boss doing that to you, then you do that to others. If you don't want your boss doing that to you, don't do that to others.
And not to cut you off,
Yeah.
keep in mind, I had a boss recently here at where I'm working currently. I've already said it, but whatever, we're gonna act like I haven't. He was very rude. There was one day, I needed to take off for like something. I think I had a doctor's appointment or something. I needed to take off. And I let the manager over the whole store know. I texted him. So the next day, I guess the manager was not scheduled to be in the store for that day. Instead, it was this other guy. We'll call him Mike. That's not his name. It's very completely far from his name, but we'll call him Mike. So Mike was the one scheduled, who's a manager, not the manager of the store, which is who I texted, who I thought would be enough to text, considering he's everyone there's boss, including his. But I texted the person, so anyway, Mike calls me that morning. It's past 11. I work, which is when I start. And he's like, "Where are you?" And I was like, "Oh, I let the manager know that I wasn't gonna be here today. I let him know yesterday, and he saw it. So I assumed you guys communicate and that you knew I wasn't gonna be here today." And he was like, "No, you have to let the person who's working know, like working that shift know." First of all, I don't know that. I don't know y'all's schedules. I don't know y'all's shifts. There was no way I was to know that he was working that day. I had no idea. I thought texting my manager was enough, but I had no idea. So he's yelling. He's like, "Now there's no drivers, blah, 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 blah." He's like, "Did you ask someone to cover your shift?" I was like, "No, because I told the manager I wasn't going to be there 24 hours before the day, so I didn't think I needed someone to cover. If I needed someone to cover, you should have asked me to find someone to cover." And he was still yelling, and I was just silent at that point, because I'm like, I've said all I need to say. And then finally he's like, "Well, it's not your fault. I'm stressed because there's no drivers here, blah, 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 blah." And I was just like, okay. And then I hung up the phone. I know, she's been doing that.
All right.
But anyway, so he either quit or got fired recently. I don't know which one. But I happened to be scheduled the day like after he quit or got fired, and every single person in the store was just going on about their stories about how annoying he was, how he was just rude. They were making fun of him because he used to bang on the meat to get it open, and they were like imitating him and stuff. So just keep that in mind. When you're an a-hole to people, people keep that in and they will talk about you behind your back. The minute you are not there and they know you ain't coming back, they will probably talk about you. And I mean, some people don't care about that. That's fine. But I don't know. Keep it in mind. People know this when you're an a-hole, even when you're a boss and manager.
And a lot of people, there is a misconception that you have to be an a-hole in order to get people to do what they're supposed to do. And that's
True.
wrong.
Yeah.
That's 100% wrong. And I actually spent some time in the military. And when I went to basic training, our drill sergeant was the nicest of all the drill sergeants there. I don't know how I was so blessed to have a drill sergeant who was also a reverend at a Baptist church. Okay, so he was very, very nice, very, very cool. And so all of the platoons would have a drill team competition. And we were involved in the competition. And so we would all be outside practicing in the open field at the same time, and the other drill sergeants would be yelling at the people and demeaning them and
just stereotypical drill sergeant like you see
drill
in
sergeant
movies.
stuff.
Yeah.
Ours would be very kind, very nice, very respectful. He told us day one, I will never disrespect you as long as you don't disrespect me. He said, I can go there, but I won't if you don't go there. Yeah. And so we were like, cool, we ain't going there because we're scared anyway. And so we ended up winning the drill team competition with the nicest. So because the other drill sergeants used to say, look at them. Their drill sergeant can't get as much out of them. He's too nice. He's too, he babies them. He coddles them. You know what? He respected us. And because he respected us, we put forth more effort.
Because nobody wants to do something for somebody that makes them mad.
Exactly.
In general.
If you respect people, people will work harder for you.
And people do better when they enjoy what they're doing. When you're surrounded by good energy, it's a lot easier to enjoy what you're doing.
You don't have all the calling in, stressed out employees because they enjoy their job because you've created a good environment. Yes, so.
And I feel like basic training is already stressful enough as it is.
It's stressful enough.
There is no need for all
to add
that.
on to it. You're away from home. You're in an environment you're not used to. It's just like I can go on and on. But so people will work for you if you're nice and you actually can get more out of
it's the same way with teachers in school. All the nice teachers, cool laid back teachers, people had good grades in their class because they actually want to do the work. Because it's like, in my opinion at least, when I have a teacher that I feel like is trying and is a good teacher, I almost feel bad not doing their work. I don't want to be that one kid who didn't take their class seriously and is making them feel bad, because I do think teachers care when students aren't participating. So I will try a lot harder in a class where the teacher is nice and understanding and isn't just work. You gotta understand it the one time I teach it or else you're dumb. That's just unacceptable and it's really unnecessary. And it doesn't help anyone.
So I've actually
got this piece of hair that's
been in leadership for a few years, and one experience that I had was somebody who used to work under me. They went to a job and they actually called me and said, hey, this place is looking for a supervisor over here, and you were such a good supervisor. I would love for you to come over here and be my supervisor. Like, that stuff really happens when you're good to people. So it's a lot of benefits to being nice and kind, patient, understanding with people.
And I think it would just feel better as a boss to know that the people you're working with like you.
I
highly doubt bosses where the people don't like them don't know that we don't like them.
Well,
I think they know.
A lot of times they teach you to not let that be your focus. You're not supposed to let you be your main focus, because people will hone in on that, and then they'll try to manipulate you and try to get special favors out of you, thinking that if you do this, then I'll like you. You know, keep holding that carrot out. So, but you have to be a stickler to the rules, but you have to be fair and consistent, but you do have to be as kind as you can be in the situation. Like, if somebody needs to be written up, if they're not doing, then I'm gonna write you up.
Exactly. Use
okay?
that when it's
Because it's either your job or mine, and I'm not losing my job to protect you. So if you ain't doing your job, I will write you up. But at the same time, I will warn you before I write you up. You will have a chance to get yourself straightened up. And then I will be fair, and I will be as kind to you as I possibly can. So.
Hi, that's very good on her other account.
Hey. Does that mean we have 3 viewers?
Well, we had 2, but I think she's...
What about the one up in the corner?
I think the one in the corner is my phone. I have my phone. I always turn my phone on it just to make sure it's not buffering.
Oh, okay.
And then I think she was in the first one, and now she's in the second one.
Okay,
I think she's got 2 accounts. Yeah.
Well, tell us how the stream is.
Yeah,
are we
is
buffering?
It good? Yeah.
Is the quality okay?
We're working on the internet. We're trying to figure it all out. So please let us know if the quality is good.
Yes,
bad.
and critique.
Yes.
Any good criticisms that you have, let us know.
Can you hear the music? Is that doing anything? I got lo-fi playing. I don't know if it's doing anything.
Yeah,
I feel like it's
out
low
here
and real
trying
loud.
to make it happen, honey. Trying to shoot our shot.
Everything's
thank
good.
you.
Okay, that's good to hear.
Yay. Okay.
That's
Perfect.
good. Yeah. All right.
Okay. Anything you would like to know about? Do you have any questions you would like for us to answer? Anything that you want to hear about?
Or we can keep talking about work.
Yeah, we can keep talking about work. That's cool. Yeah, because that impacts a lot of people. I feel like if you're nice, you don't realize how that energy will spread through everybody that you've been in contact with. And by you being nice and that causing a ripple effect, you really can change your community into a nicer community.
Yeah, and that, I think that's everywhere. I think just if you put out good vibes anywhere, you get good vibes.
Yes.
Anywhere.
That's so true. So
I like,
true.
there's a saying, I think I got it from a show I watched recently, but it was like, make the world you want to live in. And I'm like, that's a good saying, because you really, that's all you really can do.
Or the Gandhi quote
yourself.
that everybody does is, be the change you want to see.
Something like that. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I did have one more job question that I just thought of on the fly. A dream job. If you could have any job ever, just a dream job, what would it be?
Well, I used to always feel like my dream job would be owning a bookstore where I could just sit and look through all the books and, every now and then chat with a customer or something like that. Then I thought about being a florist where I could create different floral designs. I'm being honest. I thought about a florist. But here recently I've settled on, I think I would really enjoy, believe it or not, flipping houses. Buying cheap homes, getting them fixed up, and selling them. And the reason why...
Question. Have you been watching a house flipping show? Because that...
I've seen a house flipping show, but the reason why I say that is because it gives you an opportunity to drive around to different sites, and interact with a lot of different people. You don't have to stay put in one spot for too long, and I can set my own hours. So something that allows me the flexibility to work when I want to, still make good money, and not have to stay in an office or in one spot for too long. I feel like that's anything that fits those credentials up my alley as far as a job.
Yeah.
That's why I liked doing hospice for so long, because I did get a chance to drive around. That's the part that I loved about it. I got a chance to drive around. I didn't have to stay in one facility for too long. And
driving around is nice.
It makes it nice.
Yeah.
It makes the time go by. You can stop. You can eat lunch in your car.
I stop in park places all the time, just running down the clock.
And so I love that up until winter hit. And then being out there in the blizzards.
Winter does suck.
It was not good.
Not only did winter suck for me, but tips were a lot less because not a lot of people were ordering. About winter. People don't like subs in the winter. Same with Subway. No one really ate Subway in the winter.
In the wintertime.
So my tips were low. And when I was out, it was icy and snowy. And I was scared.
Driving jobs are horrible in the wintertime.
Yeah.
So I had to get off those streets. So,
All right. Well, my dream job, I've got two. I've got completely unrealistic, never gonna happen, and I've got could possibly happen if I had enough money. So completely unrealistic, never gonna happen. Completely a dream job. It's already passed. Is if I would have been able to be born in the right time and known the right people, I would have liked to be on the cast of The Office. That just seems like the best thing. I think that would have been a job I could have loved. But specifically on The Office, because a lot of acting stuff, you hear the backstories and they're like, off screens it was stressful and blah 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 blah, but on The Office you see all their off screen stuff and they're all just having fun because it's such a like fun, goofy, silly show, and nothing's too serious. Lines don't have to be perfect because it's a comedy show. A lot of mess ups actually got put into the show because they were funny. Like just that atmosphere, it seemed like a good place to be. I would have liked to do that. It seemed like a fun thing to do.
That seemed fun.
But realistic, if I had enough money, I would like to open up a little bakery, like a Starbucks type of thing, but in like Colorado or Michigan or California, and have everything infused with herbal goodness. But I would have like a non-infused menu and an infused menu.
Something like that
there's stuff like that everywhere. There's like pizza places where all the pizza, there's a infused, non-infused. There's Buffalo Wild Wings like in Las Vegas where they've got wings that have good butter on them.
Wings.
Yeah, chicken wings. Yep.
Okay.
Yep, yep. Anything with butter that can be made, that's easy.
Yeah.
There is ways to infuse like sugar, but you have to buy this like device that's like $200. But if I had enough money, I would like to do that. I'd even put stuff in the coffee because you can get, well, I won't go too deep into it, but that's the dream job of mine.
Sounds like you have put a lot of thought into this.
Well, it's really easy to do.
Yeah.
And to just have that all in one store, I feel like that'd be really cool.
Okay. And I think talking for a living is a dream job. So something like this, we were to take off or something like that, this is a nice job.
Hey, but we can't do that unless people subscribe, follow. Go to that link. This is the link that you are currently on. Keep it in mind. Save it to your browser. Turn on notifications. Do all that stuff.
Yes, like us.
Well, you can't like a stream, but you can follow and subscribe. Maybe even donate.
Okay.
But that's about it. Or go to my YouTube. I do post all of the VODs onto YouTube.
And we're accepting of all suggestions. Yeah. So if you have something you would like to hear about, how messy Becca's room is or anything, just put it in the chat and we would love to discuss it.
All right, we're reaching up about an hour. You got anything you want to add? I think I'm good.
Let me see. Oh,
yes.
Okay, yes. I have one.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to. I tapped the mic.
Okay.
Sorry.
What are things that make you feel fulfilled and validated?
Just when I get stuff done, when I have a plan and I finish that plan, even if I don't complete it to perfection, having a goal and finishing it is nice.
Yeah, reaching goals is definitely a good thing. I like that. Setting goals.
Payday
especially
makes me feel fulfilled.
Especially if you set a high goal and you reach it. It's like exercising when you say, okay, I'm going to do, and then it's such a struggle. But when you get to the end, it's like, yes. Yeah, so, yep.
I think setting all this up, this was a struggle to set up. Please be aware. The room we're in now did not look how it does now. There was a ton of stuff in it that we had to clean out. It was kind of a dump room for a year.
It was a dump room,
so we had to clean everything out, and then we had to buy all new technology because we definitely did not previously own any of the technology that is needed to make this happen. So this has been fulfilling, I guess, actually doing this.
I'm glad. I wanted to support your dreams. So, yes, absolutely. Yep. All right.
All right. I'm good.
Okay.
All right. All right, everybody.
Thank you for your support. See you next time.
If you like the stream, you can check out my YouTube, give it a like, subscribe to it. It should be youtube.com/limpnoodle, I think. Or just type limp noodle. I don't know. There's also a link to the Twitter that I made. I do not personally have a Twitter. I've never had a Twitter. I made a Twitter specifically for this streaming thing. So I haven't uploaded a lot to the Twitter or made a lot of tweets. But if you want to go follow that, I will try my best to keep it up. But I'm just not a huge social media person in general, so I can't guarantee.
She'll work on it, though.
I will work on it.
Doing something like this, you have to be in tune with social media.
Definitely. So that's why I made it, because I know it has to be done. And I did follow a couple people, but feel free to check out my Twitter if you would like. I will definitely try to post when we're going live. I got to start working on that. We've just been going live, but no, just hey, we're about to go live, and then go live.
Okay.
Or when we're already live. The thing is, I don't have the Twitter app downloaded to my phone because my phone doesn't have a lot of storage. I would love to be able to get a second phone and have the Twitch phone and then my personal phone. But until then, I've just got to work with Twitter on the computer, which is a little weird. But yeah.
Okay.
All right. We're done. Until next time, leave us any comments on my YouTube, because I don't think you can comment on Twitch. But if you go to my YouTube and you guys have anything you want us to talk about.
You can't comment on Twitch?
No, only in the chat.
Oh.
But after a stream ends, then it just becomes a VOD and you can't comment on a VOD.
Got it.
But that's why I post the VODs to YouTube. So if you guys want to comment on a VOD, you can comment on a VOD. All right.
All right. Thank you. See you next time.